You know what would be kind of nice after the last two videos is something short and easy. So hello all the crazy people out there, my name is Michael, I like wizards and dragons and making games, and welcome back to making bullet hell games in Game Maker. So the last two videos were a bit of a mammoth. The last video was doing translations and setting up systems so that we can extract translated text and display translated text in the game, and before that was a title screen, and it was like most of the title screen, and that was a lot of UI work. And today I'd like to do something simple. So today we're going to just be linking gameplay in the title screen, and when you click on something in the level select, you'll go to the level, and when you click on go back to menu in the game pause menu, you'll go back to the menu. And hopefully that won't take too long, because I definitely don't want to have to edit another hour-long video. One small thing that's happened is that I started recording this video, and then OBS just kind of had a senior moment and then died, and then I didn't get the recording back. I did make some changes, and I did keep some of them because some of them were a little bit tedious. You might see in the instance creation code for each of the level select buttons on the level select, I've written a method that's gamecontroller.goToLevel, and it takes a room as a parameter, and I'm not going to revert all these changes just so that you can see me cutting myself out doing that again on video. So I'm just going to leave those there. And also, I did make some edits to the gameplay UI. I did check to see if gamecontroller.level exists before trying to access it, because since the UI is collected in by the UI manager, and it still exists in the game even when it's not like actively needed, it is a good idea to check to see if this variable exists before you try to do anything with it, before you try to do gameplay things. That was causing a crash because of some race conditions, and due to the event order of entering a new room and stuff like that. You might want to instead deactivate UI instances that aren't actively being displayed on the screen, but this was fastest, and I don't think I'm going to be doing anything elaborate enough that it would be a problem. So with that in mind, we're going to go over here. First, we need to implement a, and it's actually not a card on here. Oh, yes, it is. No, it isn't. Yeah, I thought it was one of these. Main menu, the level select, go to level methods should be implemented. So let me go down to the bottom. First, let me actually define, initialize this in the create event, because it's actually not, and it actually should be. Anyway, go to level is going to be a function. It's going to take a target room. It's mostly going to be a wrapper for room go to. But it's also going to set self.state equal to playing. So we're going to enter the play state. We're also going to have go to next level, which is not going to take a parameter, and this is just going to be a wrapper for room go to next. And I would also like a go to title. And we're going to say game self.state equals gamestates.title. And room go to room title. See, if I recall, there's going to be something else I have to do, which is ensure that all of the UI elements are marked as persistent, because they're currently not, and I am going to want them to persist between rooms. And I'm going to need to check if you go back to the title screen, if both the existing instances are going to be carried over, and also these instances are going to be recreated. I don't think GameMaker will do that. I think if you have a persistent object and you go back to the room that they originated in, they'll just persist. But I'll have to double check that when it comes down to it. So let's see. On the surface, nothing should have changed. If I were to run the game and room go to level 1. We're going to have room level 1 not set before reading. Oh, that's because I don't actually have that. So let me go to rooms. Let me create a group. And I'm going to duplicate the level template. I'm also going to go into the room manager and create a folder of the same general structure, and room level 1 is going to be in that folder. This is going to determine the order of the rooms. So for room go to next, if I'm going to actually use that. I haven't 100% committed to this. I obviously used my own solution in Bombardier because there were no rooms to speak of in Bombardier. But today I'm going to try to actually use the game maker system, so hopefully it'll be less time reinventing the wheel. And also, obviously, when you say go to next level, you'll have to actually check that there is a next level before you attempt to do that. And okay, that's different. Why do we have title screen? That's odd. In draw GUI event, if state equals game states.title, then render the title, else render the gameplay UI. We don't have UI that's being like reinitialized in the levels. Also, they all kind of came in at the same time. That was strange. Let me print out the value of both self.state and gamestates.title. We're still in title mode. Why are we still in title mode? When you go to a level, when you room go to, that won't rerun the create event, will it? Or, is it because the game controller is also not persistent? Are we, like, reinitializing the game controller? Because that's something we shouldn't do. We are reinitializing the game controller, okay. Don't do that and make the game controller persistent. That's another thing I need to do. Let's also get that out of the template room. I thought I already made you persistent. Unable to find object for index that. Didn't I already make this persistent? Did I not save it? Alright, well, sometimes life is just full of mysteries. Alright, there we go. So let's fight against wave 1 of 3. I am doing terribly here. I'm not putting like all that much effort into this to this wave 1 here. Alright, so this is wave 2. Can I actually like defeat these without taking damage? My hitbox is very big. Alright. And wave 3. Alright. I actually made it through that without dying, which is impressive. Next level doesn't do anything. Play again, restarts the level. Quit doesn't do anything yet. Quit to title. We're going to need to do that next. Okay? That's fun. Let me commit some of these changes. Alright, that was a handful of commits. I probably should actually show myself writing these commits on video because I wanna drive home the point of this is something you should do whenever you make an actual like atomic change and not just whenever you write a bunch of code. But alright, I'm like moving too fast and I'm forgetting these things sometimes. So when you go to the title, we should also set self.level back to undefined so that we don't have a level trying to execute on the title screen, which would be a bit of a problem. Next, what else am I doing? Like the quit, go back to title buttons and the go to next level buttons and that sort of thing. That is, I suppose, something that I will deal with next. So that's going to be on a few different panels. One is going to be UI underscore. Would you like to quit? To title is the first one, right? Quit to title is the first one. So for this, we can say onClick is a function, and that function is going to be game controller.go to title. Okay. There's also the uWin screen. Let's see, this is next level. So I would like this to be go to next level. In the last level, this isn't going to make sense. I will go back to that. This is going to be restart level. Okay, what about you lose? This is restart, that's already done. And I think this one is back to menu. So this will also be go to title. And was there one that I forgot on here? This is also back to menu, okay. So I have three back to menu buttons, one next level button. This is gonna need a room exists, room next, current, room, current, room. Oh, if room last is not, okay, I know how this is gonna work. Update is gonna be function room last equals current room equals just room. Let me see, how is this, how is the UI buttons, like, active status? Alright, so .enabled is the variable that I would set to false. If this is the last room, okay. If room last equals room, else alright, so if room last is the current room, there are no more levels after this, we can say you beat the last level. Alright, that makes sense, right? So if I were to play the game, and first I'm gonna lose on purpose. That should bring up the use lose screen. This is going to take a little while because there is some iframes and I have 10 HP. Alright, if I go back to menu, when you go back to the menu, self.state equals... Why are we drawing the gameplay UI? What is paused? We shouldn't be drawing the, I have a sneaking suspicion that persistent objects are actually recreated when you go back to their room of origin. So if I were to... Room title would be, like, empty. Except for the background. Okay, fine, you suck. Game maker. Room title is going to be empty except for the background, and we're just going to, like, draw the title state here. And then, when the game controller has been created... once all the initial setup has been finished, we can go to the title screen, and this is gonna do what I think it does. I'm gonna die again. 3, 2, 1, back to menu, and that didn't fix it. Okay. Well, I don't think that would have hurt, but where is this being set to? The end of level screen. Okay. The end of level screen is being drawn, like, separately from everything else. Alright, well, separating the title screen and the initialization room probably wasn't a bad idea anyway, but I just... There hasn't been that much code in this project that I feel like has been written spaghetti-wise, but that could have been better, I think. If I were to go back to menu, back, quit, no, start game, and I should be able to maybe win this time. Like that. This button up here was not was not disabled. And we're like... So what is the value of room, and what is the value of room underscore last? That's going to be the first thing I check. I'm going to have to beat the game again, though, which could take a minute. I should add, like, a God mode cheat or something like that for testing purposes. If anyone's not in the know about this, that was like the main reason for cheat codes and stuff back in the olden days of video games, is for letting the developers quickly test things without having to actually play through the whole game for hours. And if I were to add something like that, that would make my life easier. So room lasts is 2, room is 0. I thought this was the index of the current room. It is. Oh, well, room last would have been a room title because I did that with it, and hopefully now room last is actually the one that I want it to be. All right, hang on. Let me beat this game again. All right, the text says you beat the last level, which is what it's supposed to be. Oh, you know what I could also do? Is just have like a thank you for playing screen at the end. With like the credits on it or something. That's an idea. I'll keep it simple for now. Anyway, right now you beat the last level is not a valid room. If I were to add another one, room level 2, which is just going to at the moment be a duplicate of the first one, we should be able to go to the next room, correct? All right, before I do that, level name, and I will come up with a better solution for this now, but in UI gameplay, the level name is just going to be the name of the room for now, just so that I can see what room I'm in. I'll give them proper titles or something later. All right, so we can see the title is room level 1, which is what we want. Oh yes, I do have my sub attack. I've forgotten how my own game works. All right. So the first level, the current level is clear. The next level button is an empty string. I don't know why, but we did go to level 2. And if I go to quit the title, level 2 will bring us here. And if I were to beat that level, then we'd have the correct screen. My biggest question right now is why this is empty. Wait, first, because you beat the last level is a little bit wide, text-wise, let me expand these buttons. And they'll be a little bit wider than on You Lose. I guess I can expand You Lose as well. Alright, so these UI have been expanded a little bit. I am, however, interested in why this is not edit object. I am interested in why the text here is not like... Oh, I know why it is. It's because update sets... the default update method sets text equal to the localized version of self.source text. Alright, that's what I'm going to need to do. Okay. Now I should say that. So, once again, I'm making a lot of changes and not committing any of them. I'm going to have a... I kind of just want to lump this all into one because it was a couple different changes to code that are all for the same goal. Alright, not the most elegant git commit ever, but it'll get the job done. So that's mostly what I wanted to do today. Pause state, back to menu. This has now been implemented. Oh wait, has it? Did I do pause yet? I'm pretty sure I did pause, but I will double check. So if I were to pause the game, quit to title, we do go back to the level select. Okay. So I can't say I've done that. Win, lose, back to menu. I have done that on both the win and the lose screen. And win, lose, next level. Gave me a little trouble, but we got there. Main menu, title screen mode. I think we can declare this finished. I'm going to leave player upgrades and collectibles there for now because I haven't done anything with that, but other than that, I think I'm going to end the video here. So the recording has clocked in at under a half an hour, which is what I wanted. Something a little bit short. Definitely an important thing to have in the game is to have the level select screen linked up to the, the actual levels and the other way around. And also fixing some oversights that went unnoticed until now. But I'm happy that this didn't take an hour and a half. Is there anything that, is there anything, yeah. Is there anything in, like, the backlog that I might want to do now? Not really, okay. So, in that case, we are 86% of the way through Sprint 2 now. I might break from this and like sequence break a little bit, to use a gamer term, and go to do some content and polish stuff before I really dig down deep into like player upgrades. In fact, can I just drag that into, can I send to a different board? Can I send that to Sprint 3? Because that really is a content thing. I think I was imagining like that would be in the UI Sprint because that would be going into the upgrades menu, but I'd rather think about this in terms of gameplay content. We're gonna do that for all of these actually. So this didn't like this will count as progress on Sprint 2, except it won't really. All it's really doing is adding more work points to Sprint 3, which isn't really the same thing. With that said, main menu player upgrades and main menu collectibles, I will leave these in the testing column for now. And other than that, I'm going to declare Sprint 2 finished. So this is what, episode 17? I think this is episode 17, week 17, and we made it through Sprint 2. That's great. If you're a big fan of Scrum, this would be like... Sprints are usually like 2-week milestones instead of 2-month milestones, but you know what? Since I'm only doing one of these a week, I think I'm allowed to drag it out a little. Next time, can I set 3 as the active sprint as the default? Yes. Next time, I'm gonna start looking at visuals finally. So that's going to include background stuff. So every room is going to get a background layer. Backgrounds are comprised of 3D objects drawn through an ortho camera. So it's going to It won't really be a 3D game, but we'll be using 3D models instead of just sprites. Because I know better what to do with those. Each level will have its own list of background objects that it may draw from, and they're going to be randomly generated, and they're going to randomly scroll past. 3D objects for players and foes. I don't think I'm going to do that yet. Basic 3D lighting shader just to make the background like stand out a little bit, yes. Collectibles. End of level rewards named after longtime patrons. That's a weird take on what I suggested a couple videos ago, but you know what, we'll think about that more later. The background stuff is going to be what I do next time, so that'll be about 45 points worth out of 590, so that'll be like 8%. What we're going to do, I have some fun ideas for what the backgrounds are going to look like, and again, I'm going to use the Kenny models because all these data files are available on GitHub, so I can't use like game assets that I know I don't specifically have permission to use for exactly this kind of project. I know that the Kenny game dev assets are a bit of a trope, but since this is on GitHub, I can't like legally use anyone else's, or I can't legally use a lot of other game assets without problems arising. So so the Kenny models it is. Let's see, if I were to finish this off by looking at the total work items and points, we're 48% of the way through both. The series should be done in about 35 videos, definitely less than 40, probably again towards the end there's going to be some stuff I didn't account for. And also, speaking of which, settings menu, game name, separate resolution scales for background and foreground. I'm going to send this to Sprint 3 as well. because this is about when I would like to deal with that kind of thing. Does that go to the bottom? Alright, we'll take care of that tomorrow too if we can. So, if you want the code for this, look for the GitHub repository down in the video description. Look for the 0.17 release for stuff that was done this week. I'm going to go create that now. I try to post about 2 game dev videos a week, 1 of these and 1 tutorial, so if you're interested in any of the videos on this or any of the weirder things you can do in GameMaker, such as 3D stuff, as we're going to be doing next time, feel free to subscribe. I have a Patreon, so if you want to contribute towards these videos being made, look for links to that in all the usual places. You could see some fun things like your name in the credits at the end of each of these videos, and about once a month I post a preview of my future plans. So if any of that appeals to you and you feel like pledging, I would definitely appreciate it. Otherwise, I hope you all found this interesting, and I will see you all later. Special thanks to Army Armbuster, DJ Gibbles, Edward Holt, GameMaker, Gunnar Clovis, Keyexy, Posho, Sindra Larson, Squarecrow, Then Nothing Happened, and Zenjamin for supporting these videos. If you want to see your name in the credits or hear yourself shouted out at the end like this, head on over to the Patreon page down in the video description to join the fun.